All right, take two. Welcome. Happy Wednesday, everybody out there in the world, wherever you may be. I hope your week's going well. I hope everything for you is going well. I'm glad that you're here with me tonight. You could be any place in the world, but you're right here with me. And I thank you for it. And I thank you all for giving me the opportunity to earn your viewership. So thank you very much for that. Things look a little bit different. I know myself and StreamYard are going a little bit back and forth, but that's okay. That's all right, because sometimes that's just what happens. And it is what it is. And even though it says I'm live streaming, I'm not sure whether I am or not. You'll have to tell me out there in YouTube land whether or not that is true or false. Anyway, so yeah, the reason why you see this the way it is because I refuse to pay a fee and a price that continues to go up when there's no additional value there for me. Therefore, why would I want to continue to pay? I stream to one destination, I'm okay with that. If I wanted to, I go into the Rumble Studio, stream to multiple destinations, and same thing, no problem. But I chose you, YouTube, because you guys and gals, you're all right. You hang with me, you stick with me, and I appreciate that. It means a lot. But aside from that, been a wild, rough last week of things. Nothing necessarily bad, just just stuff. I'll share it with you. First off, I told you that I'd sold my collection of sports cards and memorabilia of 40 plus years of collecting. Finally got rid of it. Probably close to 500,000 cards, I would say. Without a doubt, it would definitely be right around there, if not more. And sold them last Wednesday, was live, talked about it, and then the next day, or maybe it was Wednesday, I don't remember if I organized freight on that same day or not. I might have, but organizing freight and shipping 3 pallets worth of stuff, as you saw in some of the videos, uh, that's a lot of leg work, a lot of footwork. Not by me, obviously, but my son, his friends, my wife and daughter, everybody chipped in. Me, I'm just kind of cheerleading and coaching, guiding, assisting verbally, and thank God for them and their help. Got it all done as the wife was finishing wrapping and securing the the pallets with the wrapping, the saran wrap, whatever you want to call it, so nothing moves. She was getting ready to cut it, and she cut herself with the box knife, sliced her thumb open, ended up getting 4 stitches. I think it was 3 or 4 stitches. So a little bit of a, you know, accidents happen. Thank goodness it was only, you know, something as mild as that, and it could easily be remedied. So thank goodness. Thank goodness. But still, you got to go. We went to urgent care, got her stitched up. It didn't take long at all. I was checking to see if it was playing on the YouTube, and it is, but it's just what it's showing me here and what I'm seeing on here are two totally different things. But that's all right. Anyway, back to the back to the story. What I'm seeing on here. Sorry about that. Back to the story. So, ended up getting her stitched up, all good. And then Sunday, just a couple small details, but everything got picked up Monday. And it was supposed to have been delivered today. Everything tracking wise checked out, looked good, except the tracking wasn't updated. And this gentleman, he travels and he happens to be out of the country right now. He's in Europe. And in anticipation for the delivery, he had somebody waiting there. I don't know the individual and I don't know what he does. I couldn't tell you. I never asked. It's none of my business. If he wants to tell me, I'd love to hear it. But anyway, so he had a guy out there. I guess he paid him $300, and it was the parcel arrived at the Houston terminal for XPO Logistics. And it's not a knock against XPO Logistics. There's a lot of moving parts and a lot going on there. So you have to be patient and kind of try to understand how that all works. But he, it showed that it got there at 7 a.m. And then shipping didn't really update. And he looked at it and I was watching it, and maybe I should have pulled the trigger earlier and called and said, hey, shipping isn't updating. Everything okay? But I understand how things go in logistics, and sometimes it doesn't always go very smooth. A lot of the factors you can't control, traffic, accidents, and breakdowns, etc. So what do? Apologize and wait for it to come tomorrow, and that's when it's supposed to be delivered. So we'll go with that. We'll go tomorrow, and hopefully it'll get there, and he's a happy camper. Yeah, a lot of work. I couldn't. I mean, I didn't do it. Minus, giving a little bit of direction here and there. There's really not a whole lot I did, but I'll tell you this: the biggest crooks, the biggest criminals in this whole card sports memorabilia selling is eBay. eBay is a great place for buyers, but for sellers, and especially if you're selling anything of value, high dollar wise, etc., it's even worse. They have a new policy. It's been a little while since I've sold anything on eBay. I used to sell cars back and forth all over the place all the time. A decade ago, maybe a little more now than a decade ago, but at least a decade nonetheless. Excuse me. And it was a whole lot cheaper for one, because I would deliver the vehicles myself. And the fees were nowhere near what they are now. It's insane how expensive it's gotten. I I thought it was a mistake. It's so expensive. It's just like made up numbers. Like, where did you come up with this shit? How did you come up with this? Where is this even from? What even is this? Unbelievable. But I don't want to get into specifics because business, money, it's not a brag. It's nothing. And you know what? Depending on how things go, if the only difference is I can't put up a few little things here and there and do this and that, shit, I'll just keep it this way, and it doesn't make me any difference. I play a little bit of background music, call it good. Otherwise, the next step up from this plan is $45. And then from there, it goes up to 90 something dollars, and after taxes, You're looking almost $100 for this bullshit. It just, the value isn't there. I'm telling you, it just isn't. But aside from moving of the cards and packing cards and shipping the cards and then them being overlooked for the entirety of the day due to who knows what, it happens. He wasn't real happy about it. I don't blame him. The company's got both of our contact information. There's no reason they couldn't have reached out and let us know that, the shipment is running late. It's not going to be here today or something to that effect. But until I actually reached out to them and he reached out to me to reach out to them, I had no idea what was going on. No clue. But it's okay. I think that, flying overseas is one thing, and I don't know what he does for work. And then on top of that, maybe a little jet lagged, a little tired, got a time difference, things going on like that. So, yeah, things are difficult. But by no means is anything going bad or wrong with the sale. It's fantastic. Nothing but good things to say about that part of it. Honestly, I'm just glad that they went to somebody that could appreciate them and, care about them and value them and do whatever you want to with them. Sell them, keep them, whatever. Doesn't matter to me. I didn't want to burden my family in case something were to happen to me. They got to worry about how to get rid of all these cards, et cetera, as I've had my health issues here over the last few years since I got hurt at work. But I can't talk about that, not yet at least. But I would love to, love to, love to. Uh, Chiefs let McDuffie go, traded him to the Rams. At least they traded him to a different conference. It's good, I guess. He was the best player in our secondary, but you know, we got additional picks, and there's no telling what those additional picks are going to turn into. Whether they're going to turn into first team All Pros like McDuffie was, no idea. But the Chiefs also have a lot of individuals that are going to be free agents coming up, so it'll be a busy off season. And whether Brett Veach did a good job with this McDuffie decision, I don't know. But time will tell. As long as Mahomes recovers, rehabs, gets what he needs, I think the Chiefs will be the Chiefs and they'll be just fine. Not worried about them at all. Yeah. Aside from that, basketball, NBA, Celtics still second place behind the Pistons. We'll see what happens. It's going to be it's a close race between the Knicks and the Celtics. They're right there neck and neck, and the Pistons are a little bit. I think it's a 5 game, 4.5, 5 game difference between first and second place, and then between the Knicks and the Celtics. They're right there. I mean, neck and neck. And surprisingly, all things considered, Celtics being my squad, my favorite team basketball wise, they've been able to do a lot of things that people weren't expecting them to do since they gutted, if you will, their roster. And then without Jason Tatum, arguably their best or second best player, they've been able to do it and figure out a way to make it work. That's what good franchises, quality organizations do. But the NBA this year, it seemed to me, even NCAA, you got good players out there, and the NCAA, it just doesn't seem like they're putting forth the effort that you are accustomed to seeing, as though they feel like they're owed something. And then on the NBA side, it's just you got so much going on with you know scandals over here, scandals over there, tree companies here, Epstein files over there. It's just, there's a lot going on. Some of it's speculation, of course, but there's always truth in a little bit of everything, if you ask me. But for now, we just wait and see. And in the West, you're looking at OKC, of course. You're looking at Denver. You're looking at San Antonio. You're looking at Houston, uh, Lakers. I told you already. That's fool's gold. Don't be, don't get locked and trapped into the hype. Lakers aren't going anywhere. They're not winning any championships, and they're not going to get any better. They they got one two-way player on that team that can score when needed and play defense, and that's Marcus Smart. And his availability is simply just not there. DeAndre Ayton is exactly who we thought he was going to be. Uh, just he's not dominating anything. Luka's doing Luka stuff. Offensively, he's great. Defensively, he's just, he's right there. He's like LeBron when it comes to defense, and LeBron's not any better on defense either. And, his scoring has also been suffering. I don't care if he's still averaging X amount of points, the way he's getting those points, it's garbage. They're just stats. They're empty stats. They're not getting you anywhere. They mean nothing. So that's the Lakers for you in a nutshell. But I think when it comes down to it, if it's not OKC or Denver, San Antonio might be that squad. I think I had Houston up there, but with KD and his just stupidity and nonsense, there's nothing, no redeeming qualities about it. You know what I'm saying? Burner accounts, podcasts. I mean, well, how do you guys have time to do all that shit and be professional basketball players? I don't get it. I don't know how you can do that. It's a lot to have to shuffle and manage. I don't know how you do it. It's pretty fucking amazing. But that's my opinion. Aside from that, what do we got? What do we got going on? More doctor's visits this month. Um, eBay. Yeah, eBay. These motherfuckers, on top of their ridiculous fees, they now put a hold on your funds for a month. A month. And I'm like, man, why? In case the seller or the buyer isn't happy. Well, fuck, it's a no return as is sale. What the fuck do you mean not happy? It doesn't make sense. It just no reason to hold the funds. You're like, yeah, it's a larger ticket item purchase. I'm like, okay, and what's your point? What if I go to a restaurant and I order a more expensive steak? You're not gonna give it to me, or what are we talking about here? It's just stupid shit. Stupid shit. Aside from that, I'm just waiting to hear from certain individuals, certain entities about my status, I guess, and hopefully sooner than later. Not like I'm getting any better, and if you hear me start slurring, it's not because I'm on anything, it's the medication kicking in. That's another reason why I feel like I've been talking for an hour, but I've only been on here for less than 20 minutes. So that's wild. Eh, hopefully StreamYard decides to play nice and we can work something out. If not, this really doesn't bother me. short form videos I enjoy more, and in all honesty, than anything else. As much of an interactive show as this is, it's difficult at times to get people to come on. And the thing is that it, you just people have schedules, they have lives, things going on, things to do. So I get it. I get it. Totally get it. Totally get it. I fix this there. There we go. Let me see if it'll let me do it now. Tab. Alright, so now what I was looking for, but that's alright. I'm not used to this version of it. It's alright. I'll figure it out. I will figure it out. See if I can figure it out real quick again. Oh, look who got it. Here's another thing that I wanted to show you guys. So, Harbor Freight, they got their sale going on right now. Their March parking lot sale. Now, you tell me which is a better sounding deal. And bear with me. I'm working on getting it. There we go. So, Inside Track Club members early access 3-2. So from Monday till Thursday. Then everybody else 3-6, which is Friday till Sunday. All right. Let me see if it'll let me click on it this way. And yes, it does. There was some specific coupons other than these 25%. Build your own tool deal. Hold on, pull it up here. Coupon deals. And it's not a knock against Harbor Freight or the Harbros or anything like that, because I'm over here telling you good things about fucking Walmart brand Hypertough, which is actually fucking Chervon primarily, with some oddly enough some manufacturing here in the States. Yeah, one in Kansas, actually, in Hiawatha, which is not too far from where my wife was born, small town. And the other one is in North Carolina. They produce their, out here, they do pry bars, the crowbars up to a certain inch, and then they do something similar in North Carolina. But coupon wise, God, why can't we just coupons? Here we go. Let's look at this. Let me find it. To me, this is why I'm, I don't want to say anything bad about Harbor Freight, but you're starting to get up here and your price point isn't anywhere near where it used to be. Does that mean your quality's gone up? Sure. Has it gone up that much? I don't think so. Not for what you're selling and for how much you're selling it for. And I base this simply on the fact that you're, you know, you're not in direct competition with anybody, but you are in direct competition with everybody. I'll make it make sense in a second. What I'm saying is that Walmart, they're not necessarily your competitor. Walmart's competition, you're looking more like Target, all right, Vivor when they come in. Uh, but as far as Harbor Freight, no, I don't care if they open up more stores. They are always going to be known for inexpensive items. Yeah, it's nice to have a lifetime warranty on their hand tools. That's great. I think it's a good thing. It helps their brand. But at the same time, if your hand tools aren't that good in the first place and you always got to warranty them out, maybe not such a good deal, right? And they had a build your own tool deal. I'm just trying to find that coupon. But the coupon is $99.99. You get a battery and a charger, and then you get a pick a tool for $100. But why would you want to do that when you can go to Home Depot and get quality items like, oh, I don't know. Let's look at this rigid set that they have in stock every day. PC versions are a little bit different. Oh my God. Tools, just rigid. So you can get, they got some really nice deals on rigid and here. This is one that's going on right now. This is 169 or 179. That's brushless, but the subcompact right here is 179. It was 119, but now it's 179. But still, you're getting charger, 2 tools, 2 batteries, and I believe it's 119, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, $119. So you can spend $100 at Harbor Freight, get 1 battery, 1 charger, 1 tool, or you can go to Home Depot any day and get a half-inch chuck drill, a quarter-inch hex driver, 2 2-hour batteries, a charger, and a carrying case, all for $119 before tax. So what's the better deal? You don't have to, it's a rhetorical question, so I don't expect anybody to actually answer that. But pretty simple. And then, it just, Harbor Freight, the other problem that I've got with Harbor Freight, other than the ridiculous price point right now, is that they don't want to discount anything, no matter what, as though they're going to get in some trouble. Now, let me let me tell you a little something. Let me let you in on a little secret. When I came out of retirement, I think the second time, and this was during COVID, I worked for Harbor Freight. I was a sales associate, whatever you want to call it. I did whatever was necessary. Didn't bother me. Didn't pay well, but I was bored, so I got a job. And Harbor Freight was right down the street from the house. Still is. So the reason that I only stayed there for a short time, and I'm pretty sure it was 2020. Everybody was freaking out, or it might have been 21. I don't remember, but it was still during the COVID times. And I started working there and got hired. Then I started working there. And after I started working there, they had a mandate that you had to wear a mask as an employee. And I'm like, look, I'm not wearing the mask. It's just not happening. I can't breathe well with the mask on, and it fogs up my glasses. Pretty simple. And I don't, know if you understand how small a virus is, but this mask, it's not going to do anything. Virus is going to get right through it, no matter what. And then you're supposed to switch out the mask every hour, every 2 hours, and I wasn't down with the mask. Not that we went out on bad terms, nothing like that. But Harbor Freight and I, we went our separate ways. Okay. But while I was there, they were bringing out all this new Hercules stuff that you see now, the brushless stuff. It was all coming out. And I used and played with it that they had on demos. And some of it was okay. Some of it's real nice, like the 20-volt Hercules uh, quarter-inch hex driver. That thing's great. Love it. When my son was building that table out there in the garage, that was his favorite tool. He loved the Hercules. Me, I like the rigid, the Ryobi. I let him use all of these, and from the DeWalt to the rigid to the Ryobi to the Hercules to the whatever else the hell. I've got Milwaukee. Milwaukee's a different story. Anyway, he liked the Hercules the most. Me, I thought the rigid was the best, but that's me. And then I got to the Hyper Tough. Now hear me out. A lot of the stuff that Hyper Tough is putting out is very much similar to what you see put out by Chevron. If you're not familiar with Chevron, Chevron is a global manufacturer of tools and other things for retailers. And since patents run out, etc., they can make things based on the specifications that you give them. So, other than having the two US based factories where they produce some of their hand tools, Chevron also produces a lot of the stuff for them. That's why a lot of it seems very similar if you've taken a look at it. That's why Northern Tool, they've got their Clutch brand with a K. Their batteries will fit and work on Hyper Tough tools, but you don't want Clutch and you don't want Clutch batteries because Clutch and Clutch batteries, they're not that great. But Hyper Tough, and you can say what you want. You've seen some of my shorts on YouTube of tools that I've had and the tools that I've recently started getting for my son so that he can, do well and what he wants to try out. And all the same, he's still going to learn how to use tools too. Him, my daughter, they're all going to learn. It's exciting for them. But you've got to accept a certain fact that at no point in time should you ever by the name. You should buy the tool. That's number one. Showing them how to use these tools and what each tool does and how it works and what it's for, and the comprehensive teaching of these things is paramount and vital for them to understand and apply that to it. Think about this. Look at it this way. You got March right now, and depending on where you are in the country, you got, mowing season right around the corner. And you take your mower in, get it serviced. If you got a push mower, you're looking 120 bucks at least just for the service. That's not counting if it needs anything like a new blade, new wheels, throttle cable, doesn't matter. That's just the service. And it's about double that for zero turns and some riding lawnmowers. But riding lawnmowers usually right around 180. Zero turns, you're looking about 240. But anyway, these are very simple things to do as far as the maintenance goes. Repairs can vary, and if you don't have the right tools and the knowledge, don't worry about it. But anybody, for the most part, with the proper tool, i.e., a spark plug socket, a ratchet, and a way to change oil and potentially a filter, should have no problem. That's an investment that you can not only save yourself some money, but use repeatedly instead of paying that $120. Just like if you go and get an oil change right now, pretty much anywhere, fast lube places, whatnot, you're paying, and especially if you got a newer car, well over $100 for an oil change. Whereas if you take a portion of that money and just invest in some tools, you can change your own oil. And it's not a difficult thing to do. It's not rocket science. We're not doing quadratic equations. We're not splitting atoms. We're just changing oil. And it's very, very simple with very few exceptions. But back to HyperTough. I reached out to Walmart to try and see whether I can be an affiliate, and I haven't heard back anything yet, but I hope to, and maybe we can work something out. One product that we're going to talk about here right now is this HyperTough half-inch compact 20-volt impact driver. It's got 3 speeds. It's also got an auto stop on reverse, so once it gets to a certain point, it'll stop spinning. You can turn that on or off. Now, it's a very ergonomic, very well balanced, very nice feeling tool. It's not cheap by any means. It's a half-inch longer than the compact DeWalt in the 20 volt. So it's great size, great weight, 3.5 pounds. This tool in the kit came with a battery and a USB-C charger. They do have some other chargers coming and available, but the reason why it came with a USB-C charger, and here's the cool part, 2 amp hour battery. You got your indicator out here right in the front, shows you full bars. Okay, and back here, you take this little cover off, and you have a portable power pack with USB-C and USB-A. Put that up there, USB-C, USB-A. So not only can you charge it with the USB-C, you could charge other items as well with the USB-C and the USB-A. And you could also, of course, use it on their regular chargers, which they're working on. They're going to get better, and I hope they do because I really, truly believe that the product that they are coming out with is innovative and it's quality. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this stuff. And if you've got good hands, know how to work with your hands, and been dealing in them bad tools for long enough, you know when something's good and when something's bad. What I would like to do is give these out to individuals. You know, I know tire shops are going to be using impacts to take off wheels all day long. So I'd like to just give these to individuals, tire shops, or repair facilities of any kind. Let them use these hyper tough tools and see what they think. I'm not, I'm not taking anything from anybody. These are my tools. I pay for them myself. So if I can get Walmart or Hyper Tough for that division of tools to do it for me, that'd be all the much better. But we'll see. I've planted that seed, and they're really nice tools, built very well. And I think what really makes them stand out is the color. It's just the black and red. Just it looks slick. And like I said, brushless. They still got some brush stuff, and there's nothing wrong with the brush stuff. The brush stuff is fine. The brush stuff is fine. You just need to realize that it has its limitations, but also that you can easily rebuild or replace the brushes and or the motor. Very simple. And aside from that, super happy with the hydraulic impact. That thing is amazing. The regular brushless impact is amazing. I bought their multi drill, which is more like a screw gun, but it's got a few different attachments. And I think I'm just going to buy the rest of the tools that they offer. I bought a couple hammers from them. I bought a 2.5 pound shorty sledge and a 4 pound sledge, and then also a stubby claw hammer and a couple of stubby ball peens and a mallet, of course, also. So I really like the hyper stuff. Like I said, it's not that I don't have DeWalt or Milwaukee or anything else. I just know what I like and I know what's good and what's garbage. And I'm not saying Harbor Freight's garbage, but I will tell you this: Hypertough will destroy it in every single test head to head, whether it's the compact or the high torque, etc. And if you think about it and just use common sense, if you're busting tires and taking off wheels all day, do you want to carry around the small 3.5 pound impact with a 4 amp hour battery, which is more than adequate to get you through? And you might have to use your other 4 amp hour battery because you'll have one on reserve. And the batteries, the 4 amp hour ones that come with all the features, they run $56. The 2 amp hour ones, they run right about $27, $28, and well worth the money. Well worth the money because you're a able to charge the battery without any special charger. You can just USB-C, and if it's got rapid charging, it takes yeah, it'll take up to a 3 amp charge. It took about 2 hours, maybe a little bit longer, to charge this battery from completely dead on a 3 amp hour charger. That's actually a battery pack that I have from Snap-on that I use in different ways. So great tool. Yeah. And spec wise, 350 loosening, 277 as far as tightening. And those are foot pounds. Those are the torque specs on it. 3.5 pounds weight. Comes with a clip on either side. There's screws on both sides. Brushless, 3 speed plus auto stop on reverse. Great tool. Can't say enough good things about Hypertough and how far they come and where I feel they're going. Definitely headed in the right direction. Well worth the money. The price point's right there. And whether it's DIY prosumer or even someone that's out there working in the field, they're, we're on a job site or a construction site, or you're working in a shop. These tools are very good tools. Now, I'm not saying they've always all been good tools, but from what I can see now and where they're going and where they've come from, they're taking it a lot more serious because they realize that there's always going to be money in tools. There's always going to be a need for repair, and you've got to have tools to repair things. The thing I like about the Hypertough the most, and I believe Skill also does this too, which is why I'm pretty confident that Shervana has got their hands on it. Skill has a very similar type battery to this that you can use as a power port as well. So it's a handy little thing. Is it a cliche niche type thing that you might not ever need? Maybe, maybe not. You never know. But it's always better to have something and not need it than to need something and not have it. That I can guarantee you 1000%. Aside from that, tonight, I think that's about all we got. That's a wrap. I'll get this decided on this whole StreamYard thing. It's not that I don't want to pay, but I don't go on live very often, once a week on Wednesdays. And that this is all I'm doing once a week and I can still share a screen. Great. But if it comes to a point to where I get more followers and a bigger audience, then yeah, absolutely. I'll start paying again, sure. But in the meantime, we'll just stick with what we got. And as far as anything else goes, that's all. That's it. That's it. We're calling it good. Calling it good. Wednesday night. That's it. That's it. We got some nasty ish, gloomy, dreary weather out here in the Midwest. So let's just call it a night. Put some ice on the old knees. Take my other pills and then see what happens. But anyway, I appreciate everybody. I appreciate the comments, appreciate the subs, appreciate everything. You guys want to see anything or want to know anything or have any questions about anything that is relative to tools or automotive or equipment repair, be more than happy to answer it. And anything about sports cards and collecting, I would still love to talk about, and sports in general. So just chopping it up on here. And until the next show, which may or may not be coming up real soon. Hello, how you doing, everybody? We're gonna be we're gonna be back. We're gonna be back. Maybe we'll be back a little bit earlier. Maybe we can squeeze another one in this week, and I'll keep you guys updated on any other pickups I have on the Hypertough. I know it sounds crazy, but it's that good. I swear it. I put my name and my reputation on it, and hopefully they'll get back to me and we can make something work. Because, like I said, I would love to be able to hand this stuff out to techs and tire shops to use and all really test in the field, not these ridiculous gauntlet tests with lag bolts and bullshit that means nothing. You need to you need to work it like it would get worked in a shop to see how good it is and see how well it works. But I promise you, it's not just a budget option that Walmart sells. It's a quality option that is outsourced from places like Malaysia, India, um, I want to say Vietnam or Vietnam, depending on how you pronounce it. And then, like I said, we have two places here in the United States that produce their hand tools and pry bars. One in Hiawatha, Kansas, right down one town over from where my wife was born. I passed it many a time. And the other one's in North Carolina, and I can't recall the place. It may be maybe Day or Dane. I think it might be Dane, but otherwise, you know, keep the money here at home in America, and let's keep making America great and doing good things and having some fun on the show. And like I said, never knock against Harbor Freight. I'll still purchase some stuff from them, but from where they are price point wise compared to what you can get, you could either spend $100 at Harbor Freight for a charger, a battery, and a power tool of your choosing, or you could spend money at Home Depot, $119, get you two brushless, compact, an impact driver, and a half-inch drill with a fucking nice metal chuck, two batteries that are 2 amp hours apiece, the charger, and the carry bag. $119. Lifetime service agreement. And people think that TTI owns Rigid. They don't. Rigid is not owned by TTI. Rigid is owned by Emerson still. But TTI owns the branding and the rights to the name. So they've got their own division. They do their own thing, separate entity. So little FYI for you. Anyway, gang, I appreciate it. Thank you. Have a great rest of the week. Be safe. Be pleasant. Try to be your best self whenever you can. I know it's not easy. It's a tough racket, tough world out there. But keep keeping on. That's all I can tell you. It'll work out. Just believe that and have positive vibes out there. Let them out. They'll come back to you tenfold. Anyway, this is Mad Max, the Sofa King Great Variety Show, the Russian Tea Room channel. Thank you for watching. Please, if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe, like, notification, and share. And then we'll do this a little more often. In the meantime, God bless, and we'll see you later.